Oh man, it is cold out there. Yeah, guys, so it's December. It's the Christmas season, the end of the year. A lot of times when you get to this point, you're kind of like reflecting on the past year, things you did, the things you've learned, how you've grown, you know? And for me, when I think about the past year and how I've grown and like the new things that I've experienced and come to love, one of the first things that comes to mind is Hotpot. For this year, I wasn't all that familiar with Hotpot. I think I may have tried it like once a couple years back at a place that wasn't really known for it, so it wasn't that great. But I kept seeing it and I was just like, God, that looks so good. Like a bubbling cauldron of just delicious broth and all these different ingredients and meats to try and my own personal dipping sauce and all of it unlimited. Like, sign me up. It sounds amazing. So at some point, I was just like, okay, I gotta take another stab at it. I gotta try Hotpot again because I know at the right place, this is gonna be something I love. And so this year, for me, was the year of Hotpot, that I finally found a place that was everything I'd hoped it would be. And man, did it deliver. So I want to share that with you guys because I think you might enjoy it too. That's what we're talking about today. Hot pot. It's a motherfucking hot pot. All right, so let's dive in. What's up, world? I hope you're hungry. For the real eaters. So hot pot for me is one of those things that I'm just very new to because I can only talk about it from my experience. You know, I'm no expert on hot pot. Like, I just got into it, so I can't really come at it from a point of like knowledge. It's just how I experienced it in my life. So the place that I'm talking about is Xiang Hotpot in Sunset Park's Chinatown. It's over on Fort Hamilton. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like Hotpot is one of those things that are kind of intimidating, you know, for somebody that didn't like grow up with it. You know, like Sunset Park is a whole neighborhood of people that grew up with Hotpot the way that like I grew up with Mexican food. You know, like it's just like ingrained in them. They know exactly what to do because they've been doing it since they were toddlers. That's not my experience. You know, so I'm coming at it from a whole different angle. You know, I'm somebody that like knew nothing or knew very little going in and kind of had to like learn the steps along the way, learn the protocol, kind of learn what it is that you're supposed to do because, you know, as an outsider looking in, it seems like a lot, you know, it seems like a lot to manage. And I think that's part of also like why I didn't try it and get into it years ago is because it is intimidating. You know, there's like a lot of steps. And once you get to know it, it is simple. You know, it's not that difficult to manage. But there's a reason why I was so hesitant going in. You know, it can be nerve-wracking. You don't want to look like an idiot. And, you know, like when you try new things, you're going to look like an idiot. You know, it's part of it. You know, so you just kind of have to like dive in, give it a shot, and kind of like see what people around you are doing. Like learn from them. All right, so how did I come to try Hotpot this year? Like what changed this year as opposed to any other one in my past? So both my wife and I have a lot of siblings. And a recent tradition of ours around the Christmas season is instead of buying each other gifts, we'll take each other out to like a restaurant. You know, usually here in New York, and we call it sibling dinner. You know, it's a way that, like, instead of, like, the pressure of, like, figuring out gifts for everybody, like, why not just get everybody together, spend some quality time at an awesome restaurant, eating great food, enjoying each other's company. It's just a better way to spend time with your sibling. Like, gifts are fine, you know, but, like, at least with us, you know, just rather, like, just get a great meal, you know, and spend time with each other, you know? Like, there's so much pressure to, like, find the right gift, and it can be, like, a lot of stress, you know? Just, like, get rid of all that and just have a wonderful time with each other. You know, we all love to eat. We love great places, yummy food. It's a better fit for us, you know, and it just makes sense. So we have this new tradition called sibling dinner, and me as like the food person, it's often left up to me to figure out where it is that we're gonna go. I knew Hotpot would be like the perfect fit for what we're trying to do. Because Hotpot it's very communal. It's meant for spending time with your loved ones. You know, you're all gathered around this like bubbling cauldron of broth. You're sharing ingredients, telling stories, and trying different things and combinations of flavors. Like, it was made for events like this. Okay, fair, but why did I pick this place in particular? You know, Sunset Park has like, you know, over a dozen different places for Hotpot. How did I come to land on Xiang Hotpot out of all of them? And if I'm being honest, I think what kind of drew me to Xiang over the other ones is just how beautiful it is. Like the interior and the presentation of the food and the ingredients, like they do a really, really great job with the visuals. I mean, the interior is stunning. You know, you like walk in. Well, first of all, when you walk in, the first thing you notice is the smell of like the spices and the broth. You know, you smell the spices, you smell the pepper, you smell just like whatever ingredients are just boiling and cooking in that broth from all the different tables around you. That's the first thing that hits you, is the smell above anything. But then you start taking a look around at the interior, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's very well designed. It looks really cool. Like they got the lanterns hanging from the ceiling, and then you got like all these like wooden details, you know, of the archways and along the walls. And there's like Chinese calligraphy, and like there's all these different like murals painted. Like it's absolutely gorgeous inside. And like the hostess is wearing like traditional Chinese robe. Like it's got the look, you know, it's got that wow, it's got that pop. Got that X factor, you know what I mean? And I think that's kind of like what drew me in, is that, you know, like if I'm, you know, bringing in all these people from out of town and I want to take them to a place that's just like got that wow factor, Xiang is the spot. So if you're unfamiliar with Hotpot, let me just kind of like quickly break down the procedure for you. The way Hotpot is structured, it's kind of like a series of choices. And after the server introduces themselves to you and kind of like speaks with you to kind of gauge your familiarity with Hotpot, you're going to make your first and probably most important choice, the broth. Absolutely critical, because it sets the foundation for like the entire meal. All the ingredients that you cook in it are going to be flavored by this broth. So there's no pressure here. Like places like Xiang are going to have a whole series of different types of broths that you can choose, and just go with your gut. Go with what you think you would like and how you would like things to be cooked. If you want soothing, go soothing route. If you want, you know, a fiery cauldron of, you know, hell in a bowl, go for, you know, something, you know, with a lot of chilies and a lot of spices and stuff, you know, like there's no pressure. Go with your gut feeling about what broth you want. Eventually, I want to try all the broths that they offer, but I can't speak to all of them yet. I can only speak to the ones that I've tried in my experiences. But in my experiences, we're kind of like settled on two primary broths that we tend to go for, and they're at complete opposite ends of the spectrum. One is the pork bone broth. It's milky, it's soothing, you know, just like really, really delicious broth. And they throw a couple of vegetables in there. There's like some tomato and cucumber, and I think there's like Chinese herbs that they throw in there, and it's like really nice and soothing and kind of mellow and subtle, you know? And then on the other end, the other broth, the one that's my favorite, is the spicy caviar butter broth, which is a nuclear explosion of flavor, of spice. I always order at the hottest level, and every time it's kind of like I gotta convince them that yes, I'm up to it. Like I eat spicy food. I grew up on hot sauce. I've been eating spicy things since I was a toddler. Like give it to me all the way. Do not hold back. They're always like, "You sure? You sure you want it that spicy?" Like, yes, absolutely go for it. Because honestly, it's not that spicy. Unless you like eat a pepper directly, it's manageable and it's fucking delicious. Like go for it. Just go for it and go all the way. It's really just an explosion of flavor more than anything else. Cool thing too is you don't have to just settle for one broth. You know, they can divide up the pot into like 2 or even 3 different flavors. There's no pressure to like pick the right or wrong thing. It's just like try different things and, you know, find out what you like. Yeah, all right, so first you make your first choice, the broth, and then the server is going to leave you with the tablet. Now you have to make your second in this series of choices. What ingredients are you getting? And places like Xiang, there's like no limit to them. Like there are many, many ingredients to try. And scrolling through it can be a little overwhelming. There's some things you're definitely going to want to get. And there's other things that you're definitely going to want to try just for like some variety or just to have like a wild card. So of course, got to get your meats. You know, you got to get your meats in. So this place, they have your beef. They even have like Wagyu beef, and you know they bring it out to you on like this like platter, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. But the standout for me is the New Zealand lamb. The New Zealand fucking lamb is fire. It's my favorite shit to get because like I don't know, just something about the flavor. It stands up very well to the intensity of that spicy broth. You know what I mean? It's so good. You get your meats, you know, but you also want to round it out with some vegetables. Because, like, don't discount the vegetables. They're really good when they cook in that broth and they, like, soak it all in and, you know, just really develop that flavor. And, like, here's the thing about hot pot. Like, the broth is flavoring the things you eat, but the ingredients you're cooking are flavoring the broth, too. You know, it's a two-way street. So, you know, that's kind of like the beauty of hot pot. It's like, as the meal kind of progresses, the broth kind of like evolves and changes into something, you know, even more magnificent. All right, so get your meats. That's like the primary thing. Don't neglect your veggies. And then at this place, what you need to get are their handmade noodles. But, and this is important, save them for the end, okay? Save your noodles for the end. Do not start eating them right away because they're starchy. They're going to fill you up, you know, too quickly. Hot pot, it's a meal that, like, it takes time and you really want to enjoy everything. You don't want to fill up, you know, right away and then you can't eat everything that, you know, you ordered. So save them for the end of your meal. After, like, that broth is in its, like, most evolved state and it's got, like, all this new flavor and nuance from all the ingredients that you cooked in it, that's when you break out the noodles. And, you know, you cook them in the broth, you put some in your bowl, you ladle in some more broth on top of it, cook a little bit of meat and throw that in there, some veggies, and, oh, shit, it's fire, man. Like, they're handmade, you know, so they got that, like, extra zhuzh to them, you know? They're, like, they got that bite, that bounce, you know, when you bite into them. They're just so good. Like, I literally think about these noodles all the time. No lie, like, I think about these noodles all the time. They're so good. Fuck. I need some fucking hot pot. So yeah, that's the ordering process. Like, it's, you look at it and it feels overwhelming, and to an outsider, it really is. You know, it is overwhelming. But, you know, hot pot's the kind of thing you just gotta dive in. Just dive in, get messy, make mistakes. You know, it's like life. You know, like, don't hold back. Just go all in. Like, or else what's the point? You know, just go all in. That's how you're going to have the best experience at a place like this. Anyway, so that's the ordering process. And by this point, they probably already started to set up your pot for you. Like, they filled it up with your broths. And if you get the spicy caviar one, it actually comes dry with, like, all these ingredients piled into the pot. And in the middle, a, like, statue or figurine of a bear carved out of beef tallow and spices. It's another one of those details that, like, really drew me into this place. It's just, like, it's so cool. Like, they just got this bear made out of the beef tallow, and then they pour in, like, the foundational broth, and that, like, starts to melt it and meld with all the different ingredients. That's what creates the broth, you know? That's what creates the spicy broth. It's so cool, man. Like, this place is a vibe, you know? Like, it's just got so much style, energy, attitude. God, I love it, man. Oh, yeah. Before I forget, I'm so bad at remembering to say this, but if you're enjoying what you're watching right now, please drop a like or leave a comment. It really goes a long way for the channel. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so the broth's at your table, but it's not hot yet. You know, it takes time for, you know, the heat to build up and for it to start bubbling and for it to be ready for you to cook your ingredients. And it's here that you're going to make the third and final choice in the series of choices, which is how you're going to construct your sauce at the sauce bar. Again, it's another one of those parts of the experience that can feel intimidating to somebody that's not used to this. And for me and the people that I've taken a hot pot, they've definitely been intimidated. I was intimidated the first time I tried to do it. Just play around with it. That's what it's all about. It's about, like, playing around with the flavors and experimenting. It's part of, like, what makes hot pot so amazing. But okay, so, like, say it's your first time at the sauce bar. You have no idea where to start. Let me give you just, like, a basic rundown of what to do. So, like, you need to choose your, like, base. I usually go for the sesame sauce myself, or the sesame paste myself. I think that's a good, like, nutty, savory, foundational base. And then from there, you just start layering flavors. You know, I like a lot of spice. I'll throw in some chili oil. I love garlic, so I'll throw in some of that. I know it's savory, so I want to balance that out on the other end, make it a little tangy. So I might hit it with some, like, vinegar or even some sugar. They'll have some sugar there. Put a little bit of that in there for, like, the sweetness to balance out everything else. Just, you know, build flavor. If you're familiar with, like, cooking at all, just go with your gut. And if you're not, above the sauce bar is kind of like instructions for building a couple different sauces of different flavor profiles. Just follow one of those. At the sauce bar, you really can't go wrong. Just mix things in there, play with it. And, you know, here's the thing. Like, there's no pressure. If, like, you made something and it's total crap, you can just get up, go back to the sauce bar, and make another one. You know, there's no pressure here. It's just, like, experiment. Have fun with it. That's hot pot. Just enjoy yourself, man. Like, this whole experience is about, like, letting go. You know, like people like me that are like naturally anxious, or anybody just trying something new for the first time, you're gonna be nervous. But you learn through the process of, you know, walking through it and pushing past your discomfort is you just gotta like let go. Just let go of your anxieties and just try things out and see what happens. And so now you bring your sauce back to the table, and now the fun really starts because it's time to eat. So by this point, that broth should be bubbling, the smell is incredible, and like everybody's hungry, everybody's mouth is watering. Like, you're ready to go. It's time to fucking chow down. Just go for it. Just start cooking your ingredients. Just grab a piece of beef, you know, swish it around for a couple seconds, bring it out, dip it in your sauce, and try it. And it's good, right? It's absolutely delicious. Great. Now try some of the lamb. You grab some of it, swish it around for a couple seconds, take it out, dip it in your sauce, and try it. And then like the meal just starts to take on this rhythm of just like picking something, swishing it around until it's cooked, dipping it, and then eating it. Picking something, swishing it, taking out, dipping it, and eating. You know, it's a lot of food, but I never leave like so stuffed that I feel disgusting. You know, maybe because it's like all boiled, but I leave feeling reinvigorated. You know, there's been times where I've like gone to this place in a shit mood. Just like nothing's going right that day. Like the world is fucked up. I'm not feeling great about myself. And a meal like this can turn your entire mood around. And it's wonderful when that happens. I leave feeling great again. I feel reinvigorated. Truly one of my favorite restaurants in New York. The kind of place that I just visit again and again and again. In a sea full of restaurants that I only try once or twice because there's just so much out there. I keep returning to this place because it's drawn me in. It's hooked me in that much. What more is there to say? You know, like, I knew nothing about Hotpot before this year. Nothing. And like now I'm obsessed. You know, I can't get enough of it. It's so good. One of those places that are really near and dear to my heart, I have to say. You know. So there you have it, guys. Xiang Hotpot. Hope you enjoyed my little story about the place, about my love for it, how much I love it. And oh, if you thought this was good, wait till you see what they have cooking just a couple blocks down. It will blow your mind. You can check out this video for more information. I'll see you over there. And until then, stay hungry. Bye.